gonna start with a couple roll downs. So lift your arms up to the ceiling, contract up and over, imaginary ball, rolling away from imaginary wall, reach all the way to the floor. Bend the knees if you need, yep. And then you're just gonna rebound back up, lengthening all the way up, crown of the head to the ceiling. Yes, reach those arms up, and then contract up and over, peeling away from that imaginary wall, all the way down to the floor, and little pulses here. Last set, and then rolling back up, one vertebrae at a time. Good. And then one more time, reach up to the ceiling. Yes, contract up and over, rolling all the way down. All right, from there, touching your fingertips to the floor, you'll bend your knees, lift your heels off the floor into your Pilates ball. So you'll drop all the way down, heels, yes, good. And then pulse the hips over those heels, little pulses there. Last 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you'll lower to your knees, and then walk your hands out to, they're underneath your shoulders, so you'll be in a quadruped position. Good. All right, and then pressing through the heel of the hands, tuck through the tailbone, and then eyes to the thighs, so drop your head towards the mat, good. And then you'll sway the back like you're an old horse lifting through the chest, good. And then press through the floor, tuck through the tail, scoop through the belly, and then sway the back. Good, getting a little extension in there, and then round the spine one more time, push through the floor, shoulder blades stretch, and then sway the back. Good. And then from there, you're just going to have a seat. You'll face that same direction. We're going to get ready for the hundreds. I'll start with just the feet on the mat, and then arms reach forward. Okay. Yeah, and then lie all the way down. All right. And then you can keep your feet there on the mat if you'd like, or lift to tabletop. And then we'll start with the arms reaching up to the ceiling, curl those head and shoulders off the mat, look forward at your thighs, and then pulse those arms up and down. Inhale, inhale, exhale, exhale. Lengthen your legs straight up to the ceiling. Keep curling and reaching. Good job. Lower a little bit. Lower again. Remember, you can always go back to tabletop anytime you need, or lower the head and shoulders down. Just keep pulsing those arms and sinking that belly with that breath. Lower to your lowest point. 3 more sets, and 2. Last set. Bring your knees in and rest yourself down. Good. Take a little rock side to side with those knees. All right, and then lengthen your legs out onto the mat. Okay, going into our roll up, so reach your arms up to the ceiling. Curl just your head and shoulders off the mat. We take a pause there. Flex through the feet, and then continue to roll all the way up from there. Good job. And then reach out over your toes, and then roll it back down. Yeah, we got to get that spine warmed up too. And all the way down, arms reach behind you. Good. Then lift the arms to the ceiling. Curl the head and shoulders up off the mat, and continue to roll all the way up, reaching over your toes. And then roll it back. Set that sacrum. Peeling away, all the way down, arms up overhead. One more time, reach to the ceiling. Pause, take the shoulders off, good, and then roll up from there with control. Grab onto the thighs if needed, and then reach over your toes, good. And then you're gonna roll back down. You're just gonna press your arms into the floor. Good. All right, from here, you're gonna take your arms out to a T. All right, bend your right knee in towards your chest, extend that leg up towards the ceiling. Just flex and point, flex and point, flex and point. One more, flex and point, flex and hold. Pulse the toes towards your nose. last 4, 3, 2, 1. Point through those toes, lengthen that leg long, down onto the floor. Left knee bends in, extend up to the ceiling. Flex and point, flex and point, flex and point. One more, flex and point. Then you'll flex and hold, and then pulse that thigh towards your chest, toes towards your nose. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Point long through those toes and lengthen all the way down. All right, bend that right knee in towards the chest. Extend the leg up to the ceiling, going into your circle. So point through that foot. You're going to go across your body first, and then down, around, and lift. Good. Across, down, around, and lift. Across, down, around, and lift. Nice job. Making it as big as you can, challenging your core. One more in this direction. And pausing at the top. Reverse out to the side, down, around, and lift. Side, around, and lift. Remember, you can always bend the knee if needed. Side, around, and lift. And just stir in that hip joint. One more time. Side, around, and lift. Bend that knee in towards your chest. Go ahead and grab onto it with your hands. Give it a little pull, releasing through those hip flexors. And then extend that leg out long on the floor, arms back to a T. Bend that left knee in, press that right foot to the floor, flex that foot, and extend that leg up to the ceiling. And then again, go across your body first, go across the midline, down, out, around, and up. Across, down, around, and up. Across, around, and lift. One more, across, around, and lift. Then reverse out to the side, around, and lift. Side, around, and lift. Belly connection into the mat. Yes, keep your pelvis as stable as you can. You got one more here. Side, around, and lift. And then bend that knee in. Give it a little tug. And then extend the legs out onto the floor. All right, we're going to flex through the feet. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. Curl the head and shoulders up. And then roll all the way up. Good. All right, from here, just going to draw your knees in towards your chest. I'm just going to do balance on your sits bones here, or behind your sits bone, I should say. Good, we're just going to hold there, actually. A few deep breaths, just keep rounding through your belly. Good, see if you can roll back an inch. Yes, and then back up. And back an inch. And back up. Beautiful. Massaging that low back. Back an inch. And back up. One more time, back an inch and back up. And then you're going to keep your hands on your knees, roll all the way down to the mat. Good, all right. So keeping the head, shoulders down, we're going to pull your right knee in towards your chest, extend that left leg out for single leg stretch. And then switch, and right, and left, and right. And if anyone wants to take their head and shoulders off, they can, but it's always nice just to keep the head and shoulders down and focus on your breathing, focus on your low belly, and left, one more right, and left, and then both knees come in, touching your hands to your knees. Arms are going to reach up towards the ceiling, legs are going to go out away, and then circle the arms, and then pull those knees in. Arms and legs reach away, and circle, pull, and double leg stretch, going as low as you can with the legs. As you're reaching back, good, feel that energy through those fingertips, so feel that opposition of the toes and fingers reaching, and then circle, pulling, yes, using that breath. One more, circle, pull in. And then you're lengthening your legs straight up to the ceiling. Okay, grab on behind your right thigh or calf, again, up to you. Keeping the head and shoulders down or lifting, lower that left leg, nice and slow, and then switch. And right, pulls in, then left. Right, and left. One more, right, and left. And then both knees in. Give yourself a little break here. Maybe roll your chin from side to side, releasing through your neck. Any tension that might have built up there, then you'll place your hands behind your head. Elbows touch the mat. Lengthen your legs straight up to the ceiling. Good. And then curling your head and shoulders up with your head supported, and then you'll lower the legs as low as you can, and then rebound back up. Inhale to lower, exhale at the bottom, and rebound back up. And 3, 2 more, and lift, low as you can. and lift, and then knees in and resting. All right, last one is the crisscross. We still have those hands behind the head, elbows wide. Right knee comes in, left leg lengthens. I'm going to rotate to the right and then switch left, right, and left, right, and left. One more right and left. And we're going to double time, right, left, left. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees in, give them a tug, and relaxing. Maybe rock side to side. That feels better for your back. Good. And then you'll either roll off to the side or grab behind your thighs to rock yourself up to a seated position. So you'll separate the legs the width of the mat for our spine stretch. Extend the legs all the way out. You're going to flex through the feet and then lift tall. Yes, so energy all the way up through the top of the head. Take a nice inhale. I want you to feel that breath in each vertebrae, like you're creating more space in between each vertebrae. So you're filling up your little discs with air. Yes. One more nice inhale. Breathe into those vertebrae and then keep that length as you exhale, contract from the belly. Good. And then reach your arms straight out in front of you. All right, you have a big ball in between your thighs. Lift tall in an inhale and then exhale, curl over that imaginary ball. Good. Inhale, reach here, see if you can reach a little further, and then exhale, lengthen that spine back up, crown of the head to the ceiling. Inhale, grow tall, and then peel away from that imaginary wall. And lengthen all the way back up. And then lift tall, and peel away. Inhale. Reach, exhale, lengthen all the way back up. And one more. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, curl forward. Reach, and then lengthen all the way back up. All right, so now we're going to go into our saw. So arms are going to go out to a T. Inhale, rotate to the right. So away from me, and then reach towards that pinky toe for 3, 2, 1, and then reach with that back arm to lift you up, and then rotate center. Good. Rotate towards me, and then reach towards that pinky toe. Yes, I was just going to say that back arm rotates. Good. And then reach with that back arm and lift up, and then rotate. Make sure there's a shifting of those heels on the floor. It's one way to know that your hips are coming along for the ride. Reach with that back arm and lift. So rotate towards me. Think of that opposite hip reaching back. 3, lift up and center. One more, rotate away and reach. 2, 3, and then reach to that back arm and lifting up. One more time, rotate and reach. 2, 3, and lift up, center, and lower those arms. All right, you're going to pull your knees in towards your chest just like you did when we did that rolling like a ball prep. Okay, so you're going to be balancing. And then you can grab onto your ankles or onto your calves or even your thighs. You're going to extend that right leg up to the ceiling. And then lower. And then left leg. So see how our toes are off the floor. She's just balancing on that sacrum. Right leg reaches and lower. And then left leg. So if you're flexible, you can grab onto your calves. Yes. And left. Good. We're going to go right leg and hold, then left leg and hold, and then bend the knees. Now we're going to go left leg reaches, right leg reaches, hold and bend. One more time, right leg reaches, left leg reaches, hold and bend, and nice job. So that was our little open rocker. Prep. All right, so from here, just bring your knees together, roll yourself all the way back down onto the mat. You're gonna place your arms down onto the floor again, then go either out to a T or by your side, you get to choose. Your legs are gonna go straight up to the ceiling for our corkscrew. So we're gonna have the legs straight up and glued together like they're one, like a mermaid's tail, and they're gonna make teardrop size or teardrop shaped circles on the ceiling to the right, and then down around to the left. So you're rotating around that sacrum to the right So you alternate sides, left. Go as big as you can, down, around, and lift. And then to the left, down, around, and pause at the top. And to the right, around and lift. And then to the left, around and lift. Good. And then bend your knees in, and then just place your feet flat on the floor. All right, you'll separate the feet about sits bone width apart. Arms are pressed by your side. And then pull your heels close to you, so they're right underneath your knees, close to your sits bones. And then we'll start by pressing the palms to the shoulder blades. Not too much tension in that upper body. You just want to feel that reach of your fingertips. Shoulders are down the back. Heavy tailbones and bottom ribs. And then start by tucking your tail, scoop through the belly, going into a little pelvic curl. And then release back down, and that sway in the back. And little curl. So belly button pulls to the mat. The only thing that's lifting is that pelvis. So you shouldn't even go above the waistline of your pants. A lot of people like to rush through this. So really think of opening that low back, pressing the belly button into the spine, pubic bone lifts towards the ceiling as much as you can. So you can make the movement big as you can without lifting too high. And then we'll go into that full press. So tuck through that tail and then curling all the way up. Make sure your knees aren't opening, so they're right over your toes. And then you'll soften at the chest. Start to round down through the ribs to the waistline and releasing all the way down. And then tuck through that tail, scoop through the belly, lifting all the way out. Good. So the squeeze of the glutes help open the front of the hips, working the back side of the body. And then lowering down. Take your time here. Soften through the chest, round down through the ribs. Find that waistline, that low back connection, and then heavy tailbone on the way down. And then scoop through the belly, tuck through that tail, lift those hips all the way up, holding there. Reach your right arm up to the ceiling and lower. And then left arm and lower. Lift the right arm and lower. Lift the left arm and lower. Lift the right arm and hold. Lift the left arm and hold. And then little pulses with those hips lifting up, up. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. And then soften at the chest. Round down through the ribs to the waistline and releasing. Good. Arms pressed by your side. Tuck through that tail. Scoop to the belly. Lift the hips all the way up. All right. And then from here, lift the right arm up to the ceiling. And then the left. Okay, option to keep the arms on the floor. You're going to flex through the feet, so lift your feet off the floor and then lower. Good. And then lift the toes off the floor and lower. And lift and lower. And lift and lower. Make sure you feel the center of those heels. 2 more, lift and lower. And then 1 more, lift and lower, and then soften at the chest, round down through the ribs to the waistline and releasing, and then arms pressed back down by your side. All right, bring your feet just a little bit closer to you, and then tuck through that tail, scoop through the belly, lift all the way up. We hold there. Now you're going to lift your heels off the floor, going to high heel, and then lower, and lift the heels and lower. And you can keep the arms by your side, or maybe lift them up to the ceiling. Up to you. We got 4 more here. And 3, 2, 1. Let's see if we can keep those heels up and then pulse those hips a little higher. Higher. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. And then we'll lower the heels, lower that spine down, and then we'll lower those arms all the way down by your side. So you will want to keep your arms on the mat. Bring your feet all the way together. So ankle bones, knees, and our thighs are squeezing. And then we'll tuck through that tail, scoop to the belly, lift those hips all the way up. All right, and now keeping the knees together. You're going to extend that right leg straight out. And then replace. And then left leg straight out. And replace. Right leg straight out. And replace. Left leg straight out. And replace. Extend that right leg in. Hold. And you're going to lift that leg to the ceiling and then lower it knee to knee. Point to lift, flex to lower. Flex through that foot. 2 more. Point to lift, flex to lower, one more, point lift, flex lower, bend that knee, replace it onto the floor. And then that left leg, lower all the way down, and then tuck through that tail, scoot to the belly, lift up, and then extend that leg out. Good, and then lift, and then flex to lower, point to lift, flex to lower. Almost, there we go, two more, point to lift, flex to lower, one more, and flex to lower, bend that knee, see if you can squeeze those hips a little higher, and then soften at the chest, round down through the ribs, and release. All right, bring your arms out to your T again. You're gonna rock your knees to the right, look over your left shoulder, releasing through that low back. And then that belly brings those hips back to center. And then to the left, look over your right shoulder. And center. And then if we're gonna go one more to each side, if you wanna lift your legs up to a tabletop position, if that's okay for your low back, you may. Otherwise, keep the feet on the floor. And then to the left. Good job. All right, so we're gonna roll over onto your tummy. All right, so we're gonna keep the feet separated the width of the mat, and then you're gonna bring your arms, so your palms are gonna be all the way down on the mat. We're going into our swan, so go ahead and lower all the way to the forehead on the mat. Bend at your elbows, bring your arms in line with your shoulders. Yep, good. So elbows are up towards the ceiling to start. Good, yes. But close by your side. So squeeze your elbows by your side. Think of reaching your shoulders down the back, elbows. Yep, good. And then the head's going to roll up first on an inhale and then press through the palms. Think elbows draw down towards the floor and lift. Yes. And then all the way back down, one vertebrae at a time. Forehead hits the mat. Roll an imaginary marble away from the lifting all the way up and then rolling all the way back down. Forehead hits the mat. Hold there. So start by rolling your head up first. So look at the end of the mat. Yes, eye gaze. And then press through the heel of the hands and lifting the chest. Good. And then lower all the way back down to the forehead. It hits the mat. Good. So I want you to think more of your eyelashes pushing a ball away. So you look at the end of the mat. Good. And then press through the heel of the hands, lift the chest, elbows draw down. Good. Finding your range, whatever feels good for your back, and then lower all the way back down. All right. So you're going to roll onto your left side. You'll be looking at me. Lining your shoulders, hips, with the back edge of the mat. Yes, resting your head on your hands. You can go all the way up onto your elbows if you choose. Let's do that for this first one. I won't make you stay up there. Really lift that rib up off of the floor and then bring your toes forward. So your toes should be at the front of the mat with your hips and shoulders at the back of the mat. You're really going to work through those obliques to keep the ribs lifted. You can take that top arm, place it behind your head or on to the floor. And then you're just going to lift that top leg up, holding parallel and lower, and then lift. Every time you're lowering that leg, think press more into that forearm. Good, yes. And think lift the ribs higher every time. Yes. And then lift and press to the floor and lift the ribs and lift the leg and press like you're moving through peanut butter and lower. Last two, lift and lower. Last one, lift and lower. Then you're going to tap your ankle bones together for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you're going to externally rotate just that top leg. Okay. And then you're going to lift it up and then squeeze it back down. Let's point to lift and flex to lower. Lifting those ribs. Yes. And then point to lift. Lift the ribs as you lower. Squeeze those inner thighs together. Good. Lift and lower, and lift, and lower. Awesome job. Last two, lift and lower. One more, point to lift, flex to lower, hold the flex, and then tap your heel forward and back, forward and back, forward and back, forward and back. Last two. and 1, and then bring those feet together. Lower yourself all the way down. Good. Just so go ahead and prop your head up with your hand. Good. And just place the hand in front of you. All right, you're going to stay in the external rotation, and then you're going to passe the leg. So bend the knee, extend, and then squeeze those legs together. Point, extend, and then flex the legs together. Good. Passe, so toe to knee, extend the leg, and squeeze together. Beautiful. One more. Extend and lower. Then you reverse it. So you flex up, point, tap your toe to the knee, and then extend the leg out. Nice. And up, flex, point, toe to knee, and extend out. 3 more. Lift, point, toe to knee, and extend out. And 2, flex up, point, toe to knee, and extend back out. 1 more. Flex up, toe to knee, and extend out. Good. All right, so draw the feet back just a little bit. And then that top leg is still in external rotation. Bend the knee, and then place that foot on the mat in front of you. And then you can grab on with that top arm if you like. Don't have to. Totally up to you. I think it feels kind of like a good shoulder pull, but totally up to you. And then you're going to hold parallel position with that bottom leg. And then we're lifting that bottom leg and lower. And then lift and lower. Inner thigh up towards the ceiling, squeeze and lower, and lift and lower. And 2, and lift to hold, little pulses, up, up. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. You're going to hold that lift, little circles forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then reverse that circle for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then lower all the way down. All right, bring the legs together, lower yourself all the way down. Good. And then bring the feet back, so you should feel the heels at the back edge of the mat as well. And then waistline is lifted, and then we're going to lift both legs and lower, flexing through the feet. Lift both legs and lower. Lift both legs and lower. Last 2. And 1. Good job. And then you're going to lift and hold, and then you're going to go on a little walk. Right foot forward, left leg back. Good. Like scissor. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift both legs and lower down. All right, so you're going to roll just right onto your stomach. And then into our single leg kicks, you're going to bring those elbows underneath the shoulders. Yep, push yourself up so that your belly button's off the mat. So the only thing touching the mat is your pubic bone. So the hip bones are off, belly button's off. You're pressing into the palms. Pull them back a little bit so you engage through the triceps. And then you're looking a few feet in front of you. Back of the neck is long. Ankle bones, knees, and our thighs are together here. And then you're going to flex at your right foot. Squeeze your heel towards your seat for 2. Little pulses, and then point and lower down, and then flex the left leg, pull, pull, point and lower, belly button up and in, pull, pull and lower, and left, squeeze, squeeze and lower, flex right, pull, pull and lower, squeezing through your hamstrings and your glutes, pull, pull and lower. 1 more here, pull, pull and lower, adding on, squeeze that right heel towards your seat. 2 pulls, and then as you point, you're going to lift that thigh up off the floor and then lower back down. Good. And then left leg, pull, pull, point, lift, reach, and lower down. And then right leg, pull, pull, reach, and lower down. And then left, squeeze, squeeze, point, lift, and lower down. 1 more, squeeze, squeeze, reach, lift, and lower. Nice job keeping your pelvis nice and stable. Left, pull, pull, and reach and lower down. All right, so you're lower all the way down to the mat. You'll be lowering your left cheek to the mat, looking at me, and then place your hands behind your back. Interlace those fingers if you can. All right, you can always bring your arms down by your side if it's too much. All right, so you're going to be, If you can, yeah, try to get your fingertips together. Good. And then you're going to be lifting the chest. So going into some extension, reach those arms down your thighs and then lift the legs. Yes. And then you'll lower your right cheek to the mat. Good. And then reach down the thighs and lower down, adding on. With those cheeks on the mat, you're going to pull your heels into your seat. Pull 3 times, 2, 3, and then extend the legs, extend the arms, lifting the chest, and then lower your cheek to the mat. Pull 2, 3, and then extend the legs, lift the chest, reaching down. Good. And then pull 2, 3, and reach. Just make sure you're alternating your which side you're laying your head down on the mat. And reach down the thighs. One more each side. Pull 2, 3, and reach down the thighs. Good, opening the chest, and then pull 2, 3, and reach down the thighs. Hold there, release those fingers, swing those arms in front of you, place your hands on the floor, lower the feet, and then push yourself back into a rest position. So round through the spine. You can go shell shape, child's pose, or your cat stretch, whatever feels best for you. Bravo. All right, so then you'll lie down facing me. All the way down. Good. All right, so lining your shoulders and your hips up at the back edge of the mat. Bring the toes forward. Press through the heel of the hand. Lift the ribs up off of the floor. So we'll start in that lifted position to start. All right, and then that hand behind the head. We're going to hold parallel. I'm going to lift that top leg up and then lower back down and lift and lower and lift and lower. Good. Again, remember to lift that rib every time you're lowering those legs. And we try to hold the lift as you lift the leg, lift those ribs even more. And one more, lift and lower. And then you're just going to tap your ankle bones together. Tap, tap. Last 4, 3, 2, 1. And then you're going to external rotation. Good. And now you're again going to lift. You're going to point to lift and then flex to lower. Point to lift. Flex to lower. Again, like you're moving through peanut butter. We lift and then flex. Pull that leg down. Good. Lifting those ribs up off the floor as you pull the leg down. Last 2 and 1. And then hold that flex. Tap forward and back. Try to get all the way to the floor. Forward and back. Last 2. And 1, and then we bring those legs together. Go ahead and lower all the way down, resting your head on your on your hand. And then we're still in external rotation, okay? And then that top arm can be in front or behind the head. Again, we're gonna passe, so you bend the knee, think toe to knee, extend the leg up, and then flex to lower. Tap toe to knee, extend up, and then pull the legs together. Nice, dragging the toe, good, and lengthen and flex to lower. And then passe, lift, flex to lower. One more like this, passe, lift, flex to lower. Then you're going to reverse it, so up and flex, tap the toe, and then extend out. And then lift, tap the toe, and extend out. And lift, tap the toe, and extend out. One more, lift, tap the toe and extend out. Good job. All right, you're going to bring the legs back just a little bit. Externally rotate that top leg, bend the knee, and then you're going to place that foot flat on the floor in front of you. Grab onto that ankle if you'd like. Just make sure that bottom leg is in parallel position, and then ankle lifts up to the ceiling. Work through the inner thighs, and then lower back down. Again, create some resistance, like you have a heavy weight on your ankle. And lift. And lower. Lift and hold, and then little pulses up, up, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then circling forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then reverse that circle for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we lower all the way down. Good. We'll bring those feet together. Letting yourself go all the way to the floor, all the way down. Good. And then flex the feet, lift both legs up and lower down. And both legs up and lower down. And lift and lower. And lift and lower. And lift and lower. One more lift and hold, and then go for a little walk. Good. Balancing on those hips, working through that waistline. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then legs together, lower down. Roll onto your tummy. We are almost finished. We're going to open the legs the width of the mat, open the arms the width of the mat, and then lower the forehead onto the floor. Okay, pubic bone tucks, belly button lift. We're lifting everything off the floor, and then lower back down. And reach, and lower back down. And reach, and lower back down. Reach and hold, and then into our swimming opposite arm to leg, lift a little higher. Belly button lifts, back of the neck is long. Last 4, 3, 2, 1, and then lower down. Good. Place your hands next to your shoulders, push yourself back into a rest position, rounding through the spine. Good. All right, you're going to come out to a quadruped position. Holding here, tucking through the toes. Scoop through the belly. You're just going to hover your knees off the floor. So we're not extending the legs into a full plank. It's just a quadruped position. Knees are just hovered and you're breathing. One more deep breath. Good, and then lower the knees to the mat. Sit back towards your heels for a little rest. All right, and then coming back out. This time you'll extend your legs behind you, tucking through those toes into a full plank. Dropping through those hips. Good, yes, and then breathing here. You can go into 4 push-ups or just take 4 deep breaths. One more. Good. And then you're going to be lifting your hips, walking your hands back towards your feet. You can soften the knees if needed, and then lengthening all the way up. Good. One more time. Reach your arms up to the ceiling. Curl those head and shoulders up and over. Yes, good. Walk your hands out. We're going to do one last plank. So right, left, those arms. Find your plank position, and then again you can go into 4 push-ups or 4 deep breaths. 3, 2, and 1. Good, and then lift the hips, think down dog, little stretch there. Walk your hands back, you can soften the knees if needed. We'll stay in that forward fold here for a moment. Pulsing your chest towards your thighs, look at your knees, little pulses. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then soften those knees. Slowly roll up, one vertebrae at a time. Shoulders roll back, and then take a big arm circle up and around. And give yourselves a hand. Thank you very much.